Have you ever stopped to think about what sacrifice truly means? We often imagine sacrifice as something grand, something visible, like giving up a job or moving away from your comfort zone. But the kind of sacrifice I want to talk about today is quiet. It is subtle. It does not seek applause or recognition. It is invisible to the world, yet it shapes the very foundation of our lives. That is the sacrifice of a mother. A mother's sacrifice begins long before we even enter this world. She carries us in her womb for 9 months, experiencing discomforts that we can never even imagine. She gives up sleep, often eats less than she wants, and endures pains that are unimaginable, all silently, without complaint. And even before we take our first breath, she is already sacrificing her own comfort, her own desires for us. How many of us ever pause to think about this? How many of us recognize that the very act of being born is made possible because of someone else's quiet surrender? And it doesn't end there. From the moment we are born, her life becomes a tapestry woven with silent acts of selflessness. She wakes up before the sun rises just to make sure we have breakfast ready, our clothes are clean, and we start our day in comfort. Even when she is tired, even when her body aches, she finds strength she never knew she had. It is a strength that is quiet, humble, and unwavering. There is no announcement, no fanfare. The world may never notice. But every meal she prepares, every tiny care she gives, is a testament to her silent sacrifice. Think about the nights she stays awake when we are sick, holding us, comforting us, whispering prayers, while the rest of the world sleeps peacefully. She does not do this for recognition. She does it because her love does not allow her to do otherwise. The silent tears she sheds, the sleepless nights she endures, the quiet worries she carries, all of it is her offering to us an invisible shield that protects us from the storms of life. A mother's sacrifice is not limited to the physical. It extends into the emotional realm as well. She absorbs our fears, our anxieties, our heartbreaks, without ever complaining. She listens when no one else does, reassures when the world doubts us, and stands by us when even we begin to doubt ourselves. She sacrifices her peace so that we may feel secure. She sacrifices her comfort so that our dreams can flourish. Every disappointment she swallows silently. Every tear she hides behind a smile. Every wish she postpones for our happiness. This is the essence of her sacrifice. And what is remarkable is that she does this without expecting anything in return. A mother's love is not transactional. She does not ask, "Will you repay me?" She does not keep score. She sacrifices because it is her nature to give. Her joy lies not in recognition, but in witnessing our happiness. She rejoices silently when we succeed and suffers quietly when we fail, always prioritizing our well-being over her own. That is the beauty of her sacrifice. It is unconditional, unwavering, and eternal. We often fail to notice these sacrifices because they are quiet, because they are woven into the fabric of everyday life. A mother's sacrifices are in the small, overlooked moments, making our favorite food, even when she is tired, walking the extra mile to help us succeed, choosing our dreams over her own comforts, listening to our endless stories, even when her mind is exhausted. The world may celebrate grand gestures, but the mother's sacrifices are quiet, invisible, and yet infinitely more powerful. And yet, despite all of this, she rarely complains. She does not seek validation or praise. Her sacrifice is pure, selfless, and hidden. This is why it is often said that a mother's love is like a river, calm on the surface, but powerful beneath, shaping everything in its path without demanding attention. Her life is a lesson in humility and selflessness, a guide for all of us on how to give without expecting, to love without conditions, and to serve without recognition. So today, when we think of sacrifice, let us remember that it is not always the grand gestures that change the world. Sometimes, it is the silent, consistent, invisible acts of love that create the strongest impact. The meals she makes, the sleepless nights, the quiet prayers, the emotional support, the invisible shield she builds around us, all of it is a testament to her silent sacrifice. Every moment of our comfort and happiness is built upon her unseen struggles. Let us take a moment to reflect. Let us take a moment to recognize that the very breath we take, the very life we live, is a product of countless silent sacrifices. A mother's sacrifice is not a one-time act. It is a lifelong commitment. It is unwavering, invisible, and incomprehensibly powerful. And the next time we feel frustrated or impatient or take her efforts for granted, let us remember that her life has been a continuous offering for our well-being. So today, I invite you to pause, reflect, and honor this silent sacrifice, to see it, to feel it, and most importantly, to acknowledge it, not with mere words, but with gratitude, respect, and love. Because a mother's sacrifice is the most beautiful, the most profound, and the most selfless act that any human being can witness. And we are all beneficiaries of this quiet, extraordinary power. When we think of hard work, we often imagine grand accomplishments, building skyscrapers, winning awards, completing projects. But the kind of labor I want to talk about today is quiet. It is subtle. It does not appear in headlines, nor does it come with a medal or a certificate. It is the labor of a mother, and it is unlike anything else in the world because it is born out of love, not obligation, and it is performed without recognition. It is the work that goes unseen, the work that silently holds families together, the work that shapes our lives without us ever realizing it. From the moment a child is born, a mother's life transforms into a whirlwind of tasks, responsibilities, and care. But unlike ordinary labor, hers is guided by empathy and love. She prepares the meals we eat, ensuring they are nutritious, balanced, and exactly how we like them, even if she herself is too tired to eat properly. She folds our clothes, washes our uniforms, and arranges our belongings with a meticulous attention to detail, thinking of every small comfort we might need. And while these may seem like small, everyday acts, they are monumental in their cumulative effect. Every clean shirt, every packed lunch, every orderly room is an invisible testament to her dedication. Consider the mornings when she wakes up long before the sun, her body still heavy with sleep, yet her mind awake with concern for us. She ensures the day begins smoothly, preparing breakfast, checking our bags, reminding us of appointments, and silently praying that the day goes well for each one of us. And when she finally sits down for a moment of rest, it is often too brief, a mere pause before she continues her work. The labor of a mother is constant, relentless, and unending. It is not just physical labor, it is mental and emotional work as well. A mother carries the weight of worry for each family member. She plans, organizes, anticipates problems before they arise, and often solves them quietly. She navigates schedules, manages finances, keeps track of appointments, and remembers countless small details about everyone in the household. If something goes wrong, she feels the stress deeply, yet she rarely complains or asks for help. Her labor is invisible because it is performed seamlessly, without fanfare or recognition. She is both the engine and the glue, quietly ensuring that life runs smoothly for everyone else. The unseen labor extends into moments of crisis as well. When a child is sick, it is the mother who sits by their bedside, monitoring temperatures, administering medicine, and soothing fears, often sacrificing her own sleep and comfort. When someone faces failure, heartbreak, or disappointment, she bears the emotional burden silently, offering guidance, patience, and encouragement. She works tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure that her family is protected, nurtured, and loved. What makes this labor remarkable is that it is entirely voluntary. No one assigns her these tasks, no one demands them. Yet she performs them every single day. She cleans, cooks, organizes, plans, worries, and comforts, not because she must, but because she loves. Her labor is not transactional, it is a continuous offering, a gift of herself. And because it is quiet and often goes unnoticed, its true value is often underestimated. But make no mistake, her work is the backbone of the family, the invisible force that holds everything together. A mother's labor also includes the sacrifices she makes in her personal life. She often puts aside her hobbies, her ambitions, her desires, and even her own well-being to ensure the comfort and happiness of her children and family. She works tirelessly to create an environment where everyone else can thrive, while rarely allowing herself the time or space to rest. And even when she does take a moment for herself, there is often a lingering thought: have I done enough? Is everyone okay? Her labor is selfless because it is continuous, unending, and never fully acknowledged. We rarely recognize how much this unseen labor shapes who we are. Every habit, every value, every moment of comfort, and every achievement in our lives is built on the foundation of her work. We wake up, eat our meals, wear our clothes, attend school or work, and navigate life with ease, but rarely pause to appreciate the countless small, laborious acts that make it possible. A mother's labor is silent, but it is transformational. It is quiet, but it is mighty. It is unseen, yet it touches every aspect of our lives. And yet, despite all this effort, she rarely seeks praise. She rarely asks for recognition. She does not need awards or accolades. Her reward is in seeing us grow, seeing us happy, seeing the family thrive. That is the depth of her unseen labor. It is not done for herself, but for the people she loves. And this is why we must pause, reflect, and truly appreciate it. So today, when you think about labor, think beyond what is visible. Think about the meals made without complaint, the laundry folded with care, the sleepless nights, the quiet prayers, the endless planning, and the emotional support that forms the invisible scaffolding of our lives. A mother's labor is everywhere and nowhere, seen by all, yet recognized by few. It is a labor born of love, sustained by devotion, and carried silently for a lifetime. Let us take a moment to honor this unseen labor, to recognize it, and to express gratitude, not with mere words, but with awareness, respect, and love. Because behind every peaceful home, behind every smile, Behind every successful life, there is the quiet, tireless, unseen labor of a mother. Life is unpredictable. Storms come without warning. Challenges appear when we are least prepared. And sometimes it feels like the world is intent on testing us. Yet, in all these storms, there is one person who stands firm, not with grandeur or loud declarations, but with quiet, unwavering strength. That person is a mother. Her strength is not the kind that the world notices. It is not built on fame, power, or recognition. It is the strength that holds a family together when everything else seems to be falling apart. It is the strength that absorbs pain silently, shields her loved ones from harm, and continues moving forward, no matter the difficulty. From the earliest days of our lives, we see glimpses of this strength, though we often fail to recognize it. When a child falls sick, when the house is in chaos, when the financial burdens weigh heavily, it is the mother who bears the weight with quiet dignity. She absorbs the worry, the anxiety, and the fear, and she transforms them into courage and resilience. She becomes the calm in the storm, the anchor in turbulent waters, and the guiding light in moments of uncertainty. Think about the times when she faced her own struggles. Perhaps she was tired, worried, or scared, and yet she never let it show to protect her family. Perhaps she lost sleep, worried about bills, or endured criticism, disappointment, or failure, but her face remained composed, her actions steady. She knew that her strength was not only for herself, it was for those who depended on her. Her courage was quiet, her resilience invisible, but her impact profound. Every challenge she faced alone became a lesson in endurance and love for her children. A mother's strength is not measured in victories or accolades. It is measured in her ability to continue giving even when the world is harsh. It is measured in the sacrifices she makes without complaint, the burdens she carries without recognition, and the love she extends even when she feels exhausted. When adversity strikes, she does not crumble, she adapts. She does not complain, she perseveres. She does not give up, she finds a way forward, often at great personal cost. This is the hidden power of a mother, a power that teaches her children, often silently, that true strength is not about being invincible, but about enduring, supporting, and continuing to love even when it is difficult. Consider the emotional strength required to comfort a child while hiding your own tears. She witnesses failures, disappointments, and heartbreaks, yet she ensures that her family feels safe and supported. She swallows her fears and frustrations so that her children can feel courage. She hides her exhaustion behind a gentle smile so that her children can face life with confidence. Every sacrifice in the face of adversity is a lesson in resilience, patience, and selflessness. Her strength is also moral and emotional. She teaches values not by lecturing, but by demonstrating courage in everyday life. When she faces challenges, financial, social, emotional, she does so with integrity, perseverance, and faith. She shows her children that no matter how difficult life becomes, giving up is not an option, complaining is not a solution, and selflessness is a source of immense power. Her actions speak louder than any words could, and in observing her, children learn what it means to be strong in the face of adversity. Even in her quietest moments, when she is alone, her strength continues. She prays silently, often late at night, for the well-being of her family, seeking guidance and resilience from a higher power. She worries in ways she never expresses, yet she continues to show love, patience, and support. Her strength is woven into every aspect of family life, every decision she makes, every sacrifice she undertakes, every lesson she teaches, and every barrier she removes. It is this quiet, invisible strength that becomes the backbone of a family, the unseen support that allows everyone else to flourish. What makes her strength extraordinary is that it is unconditional. She does not select when to be strong or for whom to show courage. She offers it freely, constantly, and without hesitation. It does not matter if others recognize it or appreciate it. She continues because her love compels her to, and this is why her strength is unlike any other. It is selfless, enduring, and transformative. It shapes her children into resilient individuals capable of facing their own adversities with confidence and compassion. Strength in adversity is not only about facing the big challenges. It is also about the daily grind, the countless small moments where she overcomes fatigue, frustration, or disappointment to ensure her family remains cared for. It is in preparing meals despite exhaustion, in listening patiently despite a stressful day, in encouraging gently despite her own worries. These small acts, repeated day after day, are monumental. They create a ripple effect, teaching children that true strength is sustained over time, not in dramatic bursts, and that courage often wears the face of quiet consistency rather than loud heroism. So today, when we think of strength, let us not look at those who shout the loudest, who dominate spaces, or who achieve recognition. Let us look at the quiet fortitude of a mother, the strength that never boasts, the resilience that never seeks applause, the courage that continues even when unnoticed. Because it is in her silent strength, her ability to endure adversity with grace, that we learn one of life's greatest lessons, that true power lies not in being unbroken, but in being unyielding in the face of life's storms, and in lifting others, even when you are weighed down yourself. Let us pause, reflect, and honor this remarkable strength. Let us recognize it, appreciate it, and carry it forward, not only in gratitude, but also in the way we face challenges in our own lives. Because the strength of a mother in adversity is not just her strength. It becomes the foundation upon which generations rise, resilient, courageous, and compassionate. There is a power in the world that cannot be seen with the eyes, cannot be measured with tools, and cannot be bought or sold. It is invisible, yet it moves mountains. It is silent, yet it shapes destinies. It is humble, yet it is immense. That power is the power of a mother's prayer. While the world may chase tangible achievements, a mother knows that there is a force far stronger than wealth, fame, or influence. Her prayers are quiet whispers, often offered in the dead of night, in moments when no one is watching, but their effect resonates across the lives of her children in ways that are miraculous, profound, and eternal. From the earliest days of our lives, a mother prays, not for herself, not for recognition, but for us. She prays for our safety, our health, our happiness, and our success. And these are not just words. They are expressions of love that transcend the physical. When she closes her eyes, folds her hands, and whispers into the quiet night, she is pouring all of her energy, her intention, and her faith into something greater than herself. She is sending a force into the universe, an invisible shield of protection and guidance that surrounds her children even when they are far away. Think about the moments she prays silently while watching us sleep. She whispers blessings for our dreams, hopes for our future, and gratitude for the smallest joys we bring into her life. These are not performative prayers. There is no audience, no expectation of reward. They are deeply personal, rooted in a love so pure that it transforms the very act of praying into an invisible act of strength. Every whispered prayer is like a seed planted in the universe, slowly growing into protection, guidance, and grace that manifests in ways we may never see or understand. Her prayers are often acts of profound surrender. A mother knows that she cannot control every aspect of life. She cannot stop accidents, illnesses, or heartbreaks, no matter how much she tries. But she has faith that her prayers have power. She places her worries, her fears, and her hopes into the hands of a higher power, trusting that her intentions, fueled by love, will create a ripple effect that safeguards her children. In this act of surrender, she teaches us one of the greatest lessons of life, that true strength lies not only in action, but in faith, in believing that even the unseen forces are working for our well-being. The power of a mother's prayer is not just spiritual, it is transformative. It shapes character, instills courage, and creates a sense of security. Children may not realize it, but when they step into the world, they carry with them the invisible armor created by these prayers. When we face challenges, experience setbacks, or encounter fear, there is a subtle sense of confidence and resilience that often comes from the knowledge, though we may not consciously recognize it, that somewhere, someone is silently praying for our safety and success. It is an invisible gift that stays with us, guiding us through life's uncertainties. A mother's prayer is also selfless. She prays not for fame, recognition, or reward. She prays for outcomes that benefit others, often sacrificing her own comfort or sleep. Sometimes, she prays even for the world around her children, for their friends, their colleagues, and the people who touch their lives. Her prayer is an expression of her love, extending far beyond herself, encompassing not just her immediate family, but the greater world in which her children live. There is nothing transactional about it. It is a pure, unconditional act of devotion. What makes this power even more remarkable is that it is persistent. Mothers do not pray once and then stop. They pray every day, in every situation, in both joy and despair. They pray in moments of gratitude, thanking the universe for blessings big and small. They pray in moments of fear, seeking protection and guidance. They pray silently during sleepless nights, during difficult decisions, and even during moments when they themselves feel hopeless. This consistency, this unending commitment, is what amplifies the power of their prayers. It is not a single act that creates change, but a lifetime of intention, faith, and love. Even when a mother's words are not heard, when her prayers are not acknowledged, and when the outcomes of life seem unpredictable, her faith does not waver. That is the true power of prayer. It is not dependent on immediate results. It is rooted in trust, in the belief that love expressed in faith can create ripples beyond what is visible or measurable. In this way, a mother's prayers are like hidden rivers flowing beneath the surface, nourishing her children in ways that cannot be seen but are deeply felt. The power of her prayer also teaches us a profound lesson about life, that love and intention are forces more powerful than control or force. We cannot control the world, but through faith, intention, and prayer, we can create influence that extends beyond our physical reach. Her prayer becomes a model for us, showing that true care is not just in action, but also in thought, in silent wishes for others' well-being, in sending love into the unseen spaces of life. So today, let us pause and recognize the magnitude of this invisible force. Let us honor the countless silent prayers that have shaped our lives, protected us from harm, and guided us through moments of uncertainty. Let us remember that behind every success, every moment of courage, every instance of resilience, there is a quiet mother somewhere praying with all her heart. And let us also carry this lesson forward in our own lives, that the simplest acts of faith, hope, and love, even when unseen, are among the most powerful forces in the world.